Dubbed the Renaissance Edition, five beautiful BVI-born women are now on the quest to become the next Miss British Virgin Islands. They will compete in cultural wear, swimwear, talent, evening wear, and promo BVI, where they get to sell the beautiful by nature British Virgin Islands. Canelda Denny, Shabray Fret, Bria Smith, Ria Thomas, and Shamoya Maduro. Who will be your next Miss British Virgin Islands? Is the big question. Viewers, the journey to the 65th crown begins now. I'm Javon Wilson, and this is your Miss BVI 411, where we give you an inside look at the contestants as they go one-on-one, getting to know them beyond the stage. We've got the scoop right after this commercial break. When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. As promised, we've got the BVI contestants, beginning with contestant number one, Miss Bria Smith. Welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Bria, you are officially on the run for the Miss British Virgin Islands title 2019, of course. Before we jump right into that, let's get into your upbringings. Tell me, what was the most memorable thing about your childhood?
Well, when I think about my childhood and I think about memorable moments, I think about time spent with my grandparents. I spent a lot of time with them, traveling with them. One thing that my grandmother instilled in us was the importance of learning of other person's cultures and their heritage. And as such, annually, we would go on cruises to different parts of the Caribbean and even sometime abroad in the US or even in Europe. And I think there's a level of appreciation for another person's land and also for your own, because my grandfather, he was a former legislator, Honorable Oliver Sills. And one of the things that I appreciate and that I think I had a privilege in being exposed to was the history of the Virgin Islands. He served with persons like the late H.L. Stout and persons like Willard Wheatley. And the stories that he would share at home, it really showed me a lot about the legislative history that we have, and even some things of our customs and who we are as Virgin Islanders.
And that's wonderful. And I'm sure that had a molding effect on not just your personal life, but your professional life as well, because you now serve as one of the information officers attached to the government via the Premier's office. So good for you. We know that you would have dabbled in pageantry a little bit. I think based on what I can recall, you tested Miss Fifth Form as well as the Prince and Princess show. So tell me all about that experience, especially from the perspective of a child being exposed to the pageantry industry.
Thanks for bringing that up. Prince and Princess was my first experience on stage. That was back in about 2004, 2005. I was in class 4, about 10, 11 years old.
What does a 10-year-old know about pageants?
I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. I just knew about going to the pageants. My mother used to expose us to all the things that was related to our Emancipation Festival. So I remember attending all the different pageants that were being held in the Virgin Islands. And I remember, because as a child, I've always been animated.
Okay.
When the Prince and Princess was being advertised, the mother for my partner reached out to me and asked us if we wanted to compete. And my mother was asking, well, here's your big break. And
it worked out.
It did. And though we were unsuccessful at that time, there were a lot of learning experiences at that age. It actually awakened my love and my passion for being on stage and for theater and being in pageantry. And it led to me actually competing in Miss Reform in 2009, being at the Almostad High School and ultimately winning and capturing the title.
All right, so let's piggyback a little bit on what you just said. Theater arts, my personal experience, up until I was able to dabble in theater arts in high school, I was not aware of my ability to perform on a stage. I didn't realize I had a voice. I didn't realize the importance and the impact of poetry and stage performance. So tell us how that experience lended to your stage experience in pageantry.
Absolutely, you brought some really good points there. I do believe that theater shaped and molded me in every capacity, even in my career and even in my personal life. I joined theater arts when I came into high school in first form, and about in third or fourth form, I was on the committee serving as the vice president for membership, and later on, I went on to being president. But I think there is something very special about theater.
I agree.
That a lot of persons are not aware of unless they're actually in
A part
the
of
art.
it.
And I don't know if anyone would recall, but there was a play that we held, Mara, that we did back when we were in high school. And I think getting into character and being a new person with the character that you have to turn into, it changes your viewpoint, it changes your output on life and how you see things and how you see what people go through. And it really just changed everything that I thought I knew about who I was and who I wanted to be. And theater really shaped me into being the communications specialist that I am now and being someone who loves the stage.
All right. So there are quite a number of pageants in the BVI and beyond. Tell us why Miss BVI?
Well, growing up, Miss BVI has always been the most prestigious title that you can ever hold in the world of pageantry. But there's something about Miss BVI that sets you apart from other pageantries. And I think it's because Miss BVI is more than just a pageant. It is an opportunity that allows you to serve as an ambassador for your territory. And I've had somewhat of an experience serving as an ambassador in my role as an information officer for the government of the Virgin Islands locally. But to be able to be on a platform that allows us to showcase the BVI and showcase who we are as a people on a bigger stage and serve as that person who advertises the BVI for everything that we can offer, I think it says a lot. And it is a role that I am more than willing to take up one day.
All right. Well, soon enough, hopefully. All right, let's speak to myths about pageantry. We both know that there are a lot of myths. As women, we're pressured to fit into the mold of perfection. We have to look a certain way, perfect hair, smile, body, all these things. And somehow the public fails to remember that we're human beings. So what do you say to that pressure? Especially for young girls who might be considering using this platform to move on or move further in life?
I would say know who you are, love yourself, flaws and all, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and stay true to your authentic self. This world that we live in right now, as you mentioned, it is pushing a
unrealistic
ideology of what perfection is, and the standard of the Eurocentric ideals that we have come to try and mimic. If that's not who you are, that's not who you are.
Right, and you will never fit that mold.
You will never fit that mold. Accept who you are and love who you are, and then you will go far in life.
All right, I see that you are a naturalista. I am too, beneath all these curls. But that is like a big deal to me. You know, you look around and you see a lot of women rocking their natural hair on the international stage. Miss Britain won with her locks. We see Miss Teen USA, Miss America, a few of the other women fully embracing their individuality and stepping into their fullness as they are presenting themselves to the world, and showing that it doesn't matter what the texture of your hair is, we're all capable. So, as another Black young woman, what does that representation mean to you as you continue in your quest towards the crown?
I've always believed that representation matters
Mm-hmm.
and is very important. And I've never been a person who believed in conforming to Eurocentric ideals. And that is why I have decided to compete in Miss BVI with my natural state, my natural hair. From in my picture, it's natural. From everything that you will see me do from here on, I will be utilizing my natural hair. As you mentioned, we have seen countless women as of late. We've seen Davina Bennett of Jamaica. She came first runner up with her afro in Miss Universe. We've seen Miss Great Britain, and she had her locks.
Yes.
And as you mentioned again, we've seen Miss USA and Miss Teen USA rocking their kinks and their coils and their curls. And it's important to love who you are in every manner that you portray, from your hair to your size. And I think that's very important. And I think it is important for us to understand that our kinks, our coils, our curls, they are beautiful, they are professional, and we can still be elegant in it as well.
And we're all pieces to that puzzle, you know? Another unconventional thing we see, and I'm very happy to discuss this with you especially, is women stepping up to the mantle of politics. We see a lot of women across not just the British Virgin Islands, even though in the last election we saw quite a number of women coming forward.
Historic numbers.
Yes, we've even had the privilege of having a deputy premier who was a woman. But you really see women taking up the mantle and trying to lend a voice to a conversation that needs to happen. I always say that a man cannot speak on behalf of a woman, and we need that representation. We see the Barbados Prime Minister was a woman. There's everyone, you see women breaking the proverbial glass ceiling. I'm excited about that. You personally have been exposed to it by way of your dad, who's now an honorable. For those of you who don't know, this is the daughter of Honorable Neville Sheep Smith. And also by way of your career, working alongside the Premier's office as an information officer. What is that representation? The fact that we're stepping up as women, what does that mean to you and for you?
It means a lot. It means so much. And as I mentioned, growing up with my grandparents and learning from them and learning about the history of our legislative history in the past, it says a lot on how far we've come. I remember learning of the first time that we had the first women to be elected into office. That was Honorable Eileen Parsons and Honorable Ethelyn Smith. They were elected in the same year. And since then, we have seen countless women serving and representing. But this year in particular,
remarkable.
We have had a historic number of women competing or running for representation. And this year, we actually have 3 women serving in the capacity of a representative. The most that we have had, I think 2 has been the most that we've ever had. It says a lot. It says a lot, and we are moving, and it just means the world, because there's nothing better than having women make decisions on behalf of other women. And it's time for us, because women are the future.
Yes, we
are. We are the future.
Well, of course, by now the public knows that I believe that.
And the future is now.
Right.
The future is now. And it says a lot to see the women out there doing their thing. And I expect to see far more women next go round coming in and breaking that proverbial ceiling and even being first female premier.
Well, I hope to see you on that lineup soon enough. What would be like a perfect girls' night out for you?
A perfect girls' night out for me is a perfect girls' night in. I am a homebody, and as I mentioned, I love Netflix, and I think just spending time with my friends, being able to be in a relaxing mood and in an atmosphere that we are all comfortable in, where we share stories and we just talk to each other, even share moments of baking a pizza
Okay.
or just making tacos. That's my most
And maybe a turn up from time to time.
from time to time.
All right, in closing, Miss Smith, just speak to, because this essentially is what the pageant is about, being able to sell the BVI, being able to stand as a true ambassador, as a daughter of the soil, a true representation of what the British Virgin Islands is all about. So for me, that's so imperative that you know the BVI and you know how to sell it. So speak to BVI pride for me and the possibility of you becoming the next Miss British Virgin Islands.
BVI pride is everything to me. I am a daughter of the soil, and as I mentioned in the beginning, having that early knowledge of BVI and the history and who we are as a people in order to know where we are going as a people and as a territory has actually driven me to choose a platform that represents that. And my platform is actually cultural and historical preservation. And in order for persons to appreciate something, they have to know it.
Right.
And that is one of the things that I intend to achieve through my platform. Even if I am or am not successful with the pageant, I do intend to push that platform in all capacities because it is something that is everything to me. I am BVI. That's who I am. That's who I intend to always be. And that is something that I need other persons to be able to appreciate. It doesn't take away from anyone else, but in order to know where you're going in life, you really have to know who you are. And who we are a resilient bunch. We have been through many perils, but we have a rich history, a rich culture, and we have to be able to know it and to share it with others.
And you have to be that. Be, like you said, be your brand. Viewers, this is your contestant number 1 for the Miss British Virgin Islands 2019 pageant. Her name is Bria Smith, and you can come out on July 20th.
Yes.
For the first leg of the competition. Just quickly tell our viewers in closing what those segments will be and how they can support you in this journey.
Absolutely. So on July 20th, we will be having the first pre-show, and the segments will include a live interview, our cultural costume or dress, as well as promo BVI. You can assist me in winning Miss Popularity by purchasing your tickets directly from me, and the sales that I will receive will go towards me being able to be Miss Popularity.
All right. And how can persons keep up with you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at bsmithpr, or you can follow me on Facebook at Bria Smith.
All right. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
I'm so excited to meet the rest of the lineup, the other contestants, viewers. Every Saturday, we will be speaking to one of the contestants as we lead up to the grand title, Miss British Virgin Islands 2019. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Javon Wilson with your 284 Media Exclusive.
Get online today with CCT Go Fast LTE. Simply select from any one of our Go Fast LTE plan options. Each plan offers unlimited wireless residential internet and are priced to suit your budget and required data speed. Stop by any one of our locations and speak with one of our representatives. And get online with Go Fast LTE, the BVI's preferred choice for reliability, speed, and affordability. CCT Life Unlimited.